Hello everyone, this is Professor Vincent Torrebongolan. In my previous video, I already defined what is all about one sample proportion z-test, specifically when we want to perform a two-tailed test. Another video was uploaded to discuss when is one sample proportion z-test best to use or when to use one sample proportion z-test. In this video, I will be going to discuss, demonstrate, and illustrate how to use one sample proportion z-test in a prevalence study. Alright? So, halimbawa, kayo ay nagtatrabaho sa isang pharmaceutical company and you wanted to conduct a prevalence study about COVID because you wanted to formulate a medicine that can cure COVID-19. Okay? So, nagkandak kayo ng study, gumawa kayo ng pag-aaral tungkol sa prevalence ng COVID-19 sa particular area. Okay? So, this is an example. Let's say you want to determine the prevalence of a particular disease in a population. You collect a random sample of 500 individuals from the population and test them for the disease. You find that 80 individuals in the sample test positive for the disease. Let's say you went to Batangas City and you want to conduct a prevalence study about individuals that was diagnosed with positive COVID-19. Now, you want to determine if the prevalence of the disease in that area is significantly different from a previously reported prevalence rate of 10%. Okay, so as you all know, COVID is now decreasing, okay? Meaning to say the case of COVID-19 is decreasing nowadays. However, there are previously study conducted about the prevalence of COVID-19, 2020, 2021, and so on and so forth. And then the previous report told you that the prevalence rate was at 10%. And you want to confirm if the prevalence rate is higher or lower than today. Okay? So, that is the illustration why we are using two-tailed test. Okay? So, this is the hypothesis testing steps. The first is that you need to state the null and the alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis states that the prevalence of the disease in the population is equal to 10%. The alternative hypothesis is that the prevalence of the disease in the population is not equal to 10%. The second step is to select the level of significance. No? So the rule of thumb that statisticians, data scientists are using is that 0.05 level of significance. But you have the option, you have the choice what level of significance you are going to use. Translate or convert that level of significance to a corresponding critical value or z-score. I also discussed in my previous study how to convert the level of significance to a critical value or a z-score. Okay, so you may go to the description of this video so that I can discuss and you can check how to convert the significance level into a critical value or z-score. Okay. The next step is to collect the sample data and calculate the sample proportion. collect the sample data and calculate the sample proportion. So in our example, 80% were diagnosed to have that disease out of 500. So the sample proportion is 0.16. Then the next step is to calculate the test statistics Z. This is the one sample proportion Z test. Okay, so I already discussed in my first slide the formula for the one sample proportion Z test. And this is just an application. So P hat minus P. So 0.16, this is the formula, alright? So you need to go back to the formula and just transfer the values that we found out. Okay, that is given in this statement in our example. Okay, so the test statistic Z is at 4.47. So next step is the decision rule. Compare the test statistics to the critical value and reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis. The reason behind reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis is because we want to perform a two-tailed test. We really don't know if the z-score or if the z calculated is higher or lower than the hypothesized value. In other words, if the absolute value of the test statistic is greater than the critical values, then we reject the null hypothesis and conclude that the population proportion is significantly different from the hypothesized value. Otherwise, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so the decision is compare the test statistics to the critical value and reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis. Since the test statistics is at 4.47 is greater than the critical value of 1.96. Okay, saan ko nakuha ang 1.96? Where do I got 1.96? Alright, so if you remember the example, the level of significance I have used is 0.05. When you convert 0.05 significance level into critical value, this would be 1.96. So the area under the normal curve is at 0.3750. And the 3.7 and that 0.3750 is at 1.96. Okay? So this means we reject the null hypothesis and conclude that the prevalence of the disease in the population is significantly different from 10%. Okay, so sa Tagalog, paano ko ba nakuha ang 1.96? Kung pupunta kayo doon sa aking nakaraang video, mga kaibigan, mga data scientists, aspiring analysts, or shifters, ang 1.96, ito yung converted level of significance. So, kung babalikan ninyo yung previous slide ko na level of significance, ayan, use significance level of 0.05. So, if you convert the significance level into a critical value, okay, critical value means z-score or z-table, that would be 1.96. Because the area under the normal curve is at 0.3750. Okay, so refer to the description of this video para malaman ninyo kung paano nakuha ang 1.96. Okay, so this is how to interpret the result. We found evidence that the prevalence of the disease in the population is higher than the previously reported prevalence rate of 10%. Ibig sabihin, kung noong previous report, halimbawa ng DOH, sinasabi nila na 10% yung prevalence rate. At yung sa pag-aaral nyo naman, current study that you are doing or conducting, sinasabi na mas mataas yung prevalence rate ngayon kumpara doon sa previously reported prevalence rate. So this information could be used to inform the public health policies and the strategies aimed at reducing the incidence and prevalence of the disease in the population. So, ibig sabihin, magagamit ito ng mga public health officials, no? Mga Department of Health and other health allied agencies to formulate strategies in reducing the incidence and the prevalence. So, magkakaroon maaari ng information drive, campaigns about how to combat that particular illness. Diba? Halimbawa, another case, sa isang area, let's say Manila or Metro Manila, okay, tumaas ang bilang ng mga nadadiagnose na mayroong HIV. And you conducted a study to prove and disprove kung tumaas nga ba yung prevalence rate, no? Yung pagkakaroon ng mga mayroong HIV. So, magkakandak ka ngayon ng pag-aaral tungkol sa prevalence ng HIV. Kapag yung report, kapag yung information, kapag yung research ninyo ay sinasabi na tumaas nga ang prevalence and incidence of having HIV in that area, makakapag-formulate ngayon ng mga strategies ang mga health allied agencies, no? Halimbawa, magkaroon ng campaign about planning about, intercourse and so on and so forth. What is all about HIV, how to get rid of being infected of HIV. Okay? So, another study is that they will be going to conduct a study how reliable contraceptive, how reliable condom, and other precautionary measures. Diba? Yung mga ganong mga procedure. Okay? Aside from the campaign, maaari din pag-aaralan kung ano ba yung mga medicine na kung saan ay maaaring inumin o gamitin para hindi mahawa. Maaari din nating pag-aralan kung ano ba yung reliability characteristics ng paggamit ng isang o paggawa ng isang ng condom and so on so forth. Okay? Para maiwasan natin yung mga gumagawa ng mga ganitong uri ng mga pamamaraan, halimbawa nga ng condom. So, may quality kasi po na pinag-aaralan. Okay? Meron tayong tinatawag na quality control. No? Na hindi lang tayo basta-basta nagmamanufacture. We should also measure how reliable, how effective yung minamanufacture natin. Hindi ibig sabihin ay walang butas, ang condom ay hindi na ba ito maaaring maikalat, ang virus, and so on and so forth. Okay? Meron bang content of medicine yung condom? So, yung mga ganun po na pwede nating tingnan, hindi lamang yung materials para maging plastic, para maging stretchable plastic yung condom. Pwede natin itong lagyan ng material o raw material na kung saan ay merong medical content or ingredients. So, yun yung kahalagahan kapag ginamit natin ng tama, kapag in-apply natin ng tama ang statistics. Okay? So, before I end, I would like to invite aspiring data analyst, data scientist, or even shifters to please subscribe to my new YouTube channel. This is the Professor's channel wherein I am discussing all about statistics, data science from the scratch. So as a professor, so I decided to, focus on this kind of activities and engagement. All right. So by the way, I am a data scientist by profession with more than 18 years of experience in technology and analytics. I took up a bachelor in applied statistics, master's in applied statistics at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. And I also have 24 units in Bachelor of Laws, also in the same university. I have been from one company to another. My previous company is at SGV& Company as a Director 2 for Data Science and Analytics. Prior working with SGV, I am the Senior Business Insights Manager 2 at TDCX Philippines. I am also the former Senior Data Science and Artificial Intelligence Lead for Innovation at the Asian Development Bank. Prior ADB, I am also the Senior Data Science Associate Manager at Accenture Philippines. Aside from Accenture, I also the Senior Business Research Executive at the Integrion Managed Solution. I am a Senior Data Science Executive at the Nielsen Company. I am also a book author on research and statistics, a contributing author on different e-learning platforms such as Udemy, LearnDesk, Tutorials Point, and other similar platforms. I'm also the former, I actually teach at the La Salle College of St. Benilde, specifically at the School of Management and Information Technology. I also curated a program course for the School of Professional and Continuing Education, also in the La Salle College of St. Benilde. So the subject course that I curated for them is about the emerging technology, particularly about Python programming language and other platform or tools used by data scientists, used by statisticians, used by data analysts. I also teach at the Arellano University and the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Alright, so that's all for now. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video so everyone knows about this advocacy in me. Alright, so to share the proper use of statistics to everyone. Okay, so marami pong lumapit sa akin in the past, no, na gumagawa ng kanilang pag-aaral about statistics, about, conducting their research thesis and dissertation. And I was surprised dahil hindi naman po sa pagmamayabang, subalit mali-mali yung mga ini-apply, mali-mali yung mga ipinapayo ng kanilang mga pinagtatanungan. Okay? So, and this is my advocacy to provide guidance to researchers, not only here in the Philippines, but of course in other countries. So that's all for now. I hope to see you in my professor's channel. Thank you and have a great day.